everyone, my name is Katrina. I'm a registered dietitian with Revive Wellness in my Viva Plan. Today we're going to be cooking chicken fajitas. So this is a recipe that can be found on my Viva Plan. It's a really quick, easy meal that comes together nice and fast, which is why I like it so much. And it's also really flavorful and doesn't have actually any added salt to it. So it's great if you're trying to keep your sodium intake down as well. So this recipe is using raw chicken, so we'll go ahead and cook that today, but if you wanted to increase the convenience of this recipe even more, feel free to use something like a rotisserie chicken that can be bought pre-cooked at a grocery store. So to start, I pre-sliced some chicken, so you can see that kind of here in my bowl, so just kind of some raw chicken, nice and sliced up. To that we're going to add our bell peppers, so the recipe calls for 5 cups. That equaled out to be about 2 large bell peppers, and I used both red and yellow. You can feel free to throw in any colors that you like. The other colors I guess would be green or orange if you wanted to add that in. So we're just gonna dump that all in one bowl. Also on the recipe here is about 1 cup of onions, so I've just thinly sliced that so they're nice in the fajitas. I also decided to add some mushrooms. This isn't in the recipe, but I like to add mushrooms to this style of dish to increase the vegetable content of it. You could also feel free to add in something like cabbage, or just keep it to the recipe itself, whatever you would like. And toss all that in there. So next we're just going to sprinkle in a little bit of oil. So any plant-based oil would work. I'm just going to use some of my olive oil. I think the recipe calls for about what does it say here? 1 tablespoon. So just going to give it a nice drizzle there. If you want to measure, you can, but I'm just going to free pour it. And give this a nice toss up here. Get the oil nice and mixed. Also going to add a nice spice mix to this. So one of the reasons this recipe is so flavorful is because it has a lot of nice extra spices. So what's coming in is going to be a mixture here. So we have some cumin, chili powder, paprika, and oregano. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on there. Get it nice and evenly coated. Make sure to get the chicken on the bottom all mixed in there as well. So this recipe is actually cooked in the oven. So another way you can do fajitas is fried, like in a frying pan. So this is a different way to do it, which is actually a little bit less hands-on. So the oven is at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're just going to throw this on a piece of parchment paper on a baking sheet and just toss it in the oven and potentially go do something else for the 20 minutes that it cooks. So now that I have that all nicely mixed and coated, I can show you what it looks like there. So a nice kind of blend of vegetables and chicken. It's got some nice spices on there. So I'm just going to grab my cooking sheet here. And I'll dump it on there. Get all the good spices out of there. Okay. Perfect. So I'll show this to the camera here if we can see it. So you can see how it's a nice big mix there and it's nicely evenly coated. Make sure it's not piled too high because we want it to cook evenly. And like I said, this just gets thrown in the oven for 20 minutes. So I'll throw it on and come back when they're ready. Alright, so I've just taken my little vegetable and chicken mix out of the oven. I'm just going to move my camera here so you can see it. So it looks pretty good. Chicken's nice and cooked. The vegetables are nice and soft, but still a little bit crunchy, which is a nice texture. So they're ready to go. The next step is just the assembly piece of this. So I'm just going to be using small whole wheat tortillas. I prefer to use the whole wheat because they have more fiber than the white. You can also feel free to use a corn tortilla, which is also going to have some fiber in there as well. Also, what I'm going to top it off with is just some avocado. So this is going to add to my healthy fats as well. You can choose to top it off with other things like cilantro or sour cream as well, depending on your preference, or all of them too, if you want to do it that way. I will also just make a quick comment on the balance of this meal. So what makes up a balanced lunch or dinner is that half plate of vegetable, a quarter plate of whole grains, so things like these, tortillas, and a quarter plate of the protein, so the chicken in this mixed dish. Plus we want a small amount of added fat into this meal. So I already talked about little tips to increase the vegetables to make sure we are getting that half a plate of vegetables in. So again, adding more vegetables into this mix, whether it's more bell peppers and onions, or maybe you want to throw in some cabbage or mushrooms, or just adding a side to the dish would work well as well. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this video and have a great day.